Hello, welcome to the channel, y'all. My name is Carmisha. If you don't know me, honey, like I said, welcome to the channel. I hope all is well. And got the TV on in the background, and I was playing that song. I was about to actually. I think I'm gonna play it afterwards. It's called "Let Go and Let God" with the Walls Group, or half of the Walls Group, and forgot who it was by. PJ Morton. Sorry if I said that wrong. Morton. I don't know, but you can see by the video with like the way it's titled, you know. I initially just wanted to call it Beauty in the Rain because y'all, I mentioned it earlier before in my video Beauty for Ashes, where I kind of like explained my testimony and what I've been through and stuff like that. But I want to get even more open, y'all. Like I told you, I had my first sexually perverted experience at a very young age. I don't even remember the age I was. That's how young I was. But I do remember the shame that I got from it because it happened with a female cousin of mine. We were both young girls and stuff, didn't even know what we were doing, and got in trouble for that kind of stuff. So I grew up thinking like, okay, I needed to people please in order to be loved, and obviously that desire for girls is wrong. Sorry, I'm drinking that soda, it's on my throat, and something's wrong with me, so I have to keep that hidden. I have to show up as this different version of myself in order to feel like I'm loved, in order to feel like I'm okay, in order to feel safe. I went into survival mode in my mind, and I don't know if many of y'all do this, but I had it bad, and I still am trying to. God is still delivering me from what's it called, melodive or maladaptive daydreaming. It's a form of escapism when you're like, for me, it was like a survival type of escapism because not only was I going through did I go through that sexual trauma with her, but it was just like another little girl of mine, not mine, another little girl, and then like another situation with another little girl, and then like I went through situations where like I told you, just going through sexual perversion with just family and stuff, and then on top of that, I just had like this fear of being hurt by men because grown men would look at me as I was a little girl. And then like I developed a really strong and really bad porn addiction my sophomore year. And teenager, I'm not thinking nothing of it. And I'm just like, okay, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? This is just I finally feel like I'm in a space where I'm free to let out these desires. No one's judging me. I can hide here. I feel safe here. This false sense of sanctuary. Ain't that crazy? But that's what it was. Y'all, from my sophomore year going into my senior year, I just felt like something wasn't right. My senior year, just like something was just not clicking. And like for those who have like, just completely given their lives to God, it was just you remember that first itch you got. It's like the itch that wouldn't go away. And it's just like something's not right. This something's not, my soul feel empty. My mind feels stuck. I feel dark on the inside. And like at that time, I felt as though like I was just like really drowning in my own body. I felt lifeless. I felt pitch black on the inside, but like on the outside, you couldn't tell because I was just like smiling and giggling, like I'm great. But really, I felt like I was going through hell, and I didn't know how to do it. And I would lash out. I would get upset, and I would just hate myself. But let me tell you something. After this, even after I was saved and I got baptized, I still struggled severely with pornography because of that shame of just liking the same sex, y'all. And I went through just like a lot of shame with that, and just feeling terrible about myself. Like I knew I went through some things as a kid, but even when I got like even before I was baptized, that last confession and stuff like that. Do you want to confess anything? I didn't know how to because I was just like I'm scared to confess it. Are these people gonna judge me? Are these people gonna look at me funny when I tell them about the things that I've done and the thoughts that I was thinking and stuff like that? So it's just like it still felt like this false sense of sanctuary. But I didn't title it, but like I wanted to call this little mini sermon, I guess, or whatever. It just I wanted to call it Beauty in the Rain. And it's ironic because it's kind of raining outside right now. Man, after I got baptized and everything like that, and I told you I was still struggling with pornography and stuff like that, and masturbation. It was just like a full blown addiction, a really, really bad addiction. I didn't know how to get out of. I thought it had a lot to do with just me being selfish and not wanting to get out of it, and me feeling like, oh, something's wrong with me. And I would just hear like people in church give their testimony about like, okay, I got out of it, y'all, and are you being selfish, or are you not doing this and that and the third? And believe me, y'all, I was like, okay, maybe I should do more push-ups to get away from that temptation, or maybe I should do this to get away from that, or get away from this. But I would just hear all these different stories of how people would get delivered from it, and how I was still struggling really badly. There were times where I looked to the moon at night and I would cry, or I would just cry in my bed. I would have a rough night sleeping, have dreams about me facing like obstacles, like stuff like that is so real, y'all. Sorry, it's kind of getting dark. It's okay. Stuff like that is so real when you go through trials of many kinds. And it's funny because I just got done reading the book of James, not reading the whole book, but just like the first chapters where it talks about trials and tribulations. And how it's like saying, consider it as pure joy, you know? And I just remember during that time, as I was struggling with it, how I was just like, it didn't feel joyful at the time, y'all. I'm gonna keep it G with y'all. It felt like I was burning up, literally. Like I also just turned to like a part in the Bible where it talks about the three men in the fire. I'm not gonna say their name, honey, because I don't wanna. I'm gonna butcher their name. But look, I thought about the three men in the fire, and it's funny how like God allowed them to go into the fire, even when the heat was turned up 7 times more. But I remember also just hearing God say to me during that time, as I was going through the fire and I was burning up, and I felt like the heat was turned up really, really, really hot. And I was just like, God, I don't know how much more I can take. Like, how much more am I supposed to take? And I remember him telling me that even though the fire is blazing hot, I'm going to cover you. It's not going to touch you. During that time, y'all, I wanted to get out of it so bad. It's just like, God, I keep falling. I keep screwing up. I keep doing this. I keep falling. Like, it was so bad, y'all, to where it's like, at one point in my life, I used to just go to pornography 2 to 3 times a day. That's how bad it was. That's how desensitized I was. That's how numbing it was for me. All because of just like the root being shame, guilt, hurt, holding on to rejection, betrayal. I didn't know how to deal with it. All I knew was just like numb yourself, numb yourself, numb yourself, numb yourself. And at a point in time, it was just like, okay, this is what's best for me. That's what I thought. And I was just like, okay, God, I see that you want me to get out of this. I know this is not pure. And I'm trying to do everything. I watch every sermon. I try to watch videos on like, okay, what is sex? Or like, how does it glorify God and all that. And I'm just like, man, when can I get out? When will it be over? When, how much more you expect me to take? Why can't you just take it away? Like Jesus, God, if you are willing, remove this cup from me. Like, or like for me, like, why haven't you removed this cup from me? Let me take a sip, honey. Yes, sir. Like, well, why? But all seriousness, no. Like, why haven't you taken this cup from me? Why do I have to keep going? Why haven't you just taken it off of me? You see, I'm struggling with it. What you doing up there? I was frustrated. I was angry with God and I was mad at God because it's just like, you see what I'm going through. How much more am I supposed to take? You see that I can't conquer this thing on my own. How much more am I supposed to just push, push, push and go? I'm tired, God. I don't know how much more I can take. I don't know how much more you want me to push. But I kept going because it's just like, I also realized that sometimes it's not even just like the lust thing, or it also had a lot to do with just me struggling with wounds that were placed on me that weren't even mine. And what I mean is that it's called generational curses, y'all. Generational curses, generational. Sometimes that stuff is real when you pass down to your children. And I'm not gonna put none of my parents' business out there, but like that stuff is real when you pass stuff down to your kids. You really can do that. And I had to see that, and I looked, and God blessed me to really see like the things that were happening in my family, and just like, okay, that makes sense. He blessed me to see people from a different stance. And I want to talk to y'all about singleness, but that's gonna be for another thing. That's gonna be for another video. But I want to tell you that like, when it comes to you struggling with pornography, you still in the fire. And I'm not even gonna cap. That's what y'all say nowadays. I'm not even gonna cap, honey. I am. I recently just came out the fire. Like, I'll literally be like, tomorrow, literally, I'll be a month clean. And I never ever thought I could ever make it that far. And that's all by the grace of God. You know, pornography, the masturbation is real. And I want to tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. You're not psychotic. You're none of that. But if I can encourage you, let God dig into your heart. Because through that whole time where I was just like, God, get me out of this. God, I don't want to do this anymore. He really just wanted me to see I love you in it. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to tell you, hey, just go ahead and keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? No. Don't twist the sister's word now. Don't twist the sister's word. Don't do that. But I do want to say that God really was just trying to just tell me, I love you. In the midst of this, I see everything. And I'm not ashamed of you. Matter of fact, let me read something to you, y'all. Because I feel like this could really encourage somebody, even if it's just one person. Listen to this. Romans 8:35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword? Nakedness. As it is written, for your sake we face death all the day long. We are considered as sheep to be slaughtered. I don't want to read the rest. I kind of just want to stop right there. But like, one thing I got squared, you can't see, is nakedness. I want y'all to think about how it was in the beginning when we were just walking with Christ and we were just walking in the fields. Well, Adam and Eve were just walking naked and they were unashamed. We obviously can't physically do that anymore, honey. We can't do that, honey. No. Can't do that in this day and age. But like back then, it's just a symbolism of just like how they were naked and unashamed. How God knew them fully and we got to know God fully and we walked in his presence. We were walking in the cool of the day with him. And when it comes to just sin entering the world, sin brings about a cover. Sin blinds the eyes. Sin covers. That's why it says in John, I believe 3:18, where it talks about how like people love darkness. People love their deeds and it was evil because people, I don't know, it says something about just like people being afraid to come into the light actually because their deeds were evil, you know. But like when you come into Christ, he sees everything. And that's what God was trying to wrap around my head. It's like, baby girl, I see everything. Because my entire life, and I told you, it's just like that was the root. My root was just like what happened between me and my cousin and I as we were kids. And me always feeling like I had to hide and I had to like cover myself and be like, nobody can see me fully. Nobody, because if people see me fully, they wouldn't love me fully. But with Christ, even though I was struggling with that addiction, and even though I was struggling with that, with pornography and masturbation, and he's just like, I see everything, and I want you to know I love you. Because if I were to just pull you out, you gonna think, okay, I have to be perfect in order to be loved. I have to do this in order to be right. I have to, you know, that's not what the gospel is about. Jesus literally sat with the tax collectors and sinners. He sat with them. He had compassion on people who like were following him or just like needed to get a word from him. He had compassion on them because he was just like they were like sheep that were lost. Or like what about the prodigal son? Where he embraced him with a kiss after he had the prodigal son, he felt terrible about everything he did. And he was just like, man, I'm gonna tell my father I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. But God was just like, no, not God, but that is the father is a symbol of God. He's just like he didn't even mention about anything he had done, nor about him leaving. He was just happy to have him back. Or where it talks about God leaving the 99 just so he can find that one. You are that one. Okay? So if you are struggling with pornography right now, masturbation right now, and you're hating yourself for it, you thinking that something's wrong with you, baby, it is not. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just somebody who has been through some things. And nobody understands you more than Christ does. Okay? And I pray that you can learn how to really see yourself the way Christ does. For you to truly know and understand that there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your mind. There's like, and he's not against you because he hasn't completely taken you out of it yet. But he's just trying to show you that I love you in the midst of it. I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to walk with you out of it. There's some storms that God's going to be like, okay, we're going to run out of here. But there's some storms where he's just like, okay, we're just going to take our time. We're going to walk. It kind of reminded me of like when I was younger and I was like next to this dude, Caleb. And he was very talented. He was just fast, you know? And like my coach was just like, okay, go be next to him and you're going to stride with him. And like his stride was different from my stride because I was trying to keep up with him because he was running smooth and he was good. But I was just like, okay. He's just like, okay, stride, like trying to tell me slow down, relax, you know. Ecclesiastes, it talks about how like the seasons change and how every season has every season has something to offer. And you may be in a season of pain right now, especially if you're struggling with pornography. But if I can encourage you with anything, I want to encourage you to let God love you in the midst of your pain. To let God, to hide yourself in the Word of God. Put scriptures on your wall. Look at that, honey. Bind them around your head. How does a man keep his way pure? He hides himself in the Word of God. Let God be that cover for you in the midst of your nakedness because he's covering you. Don't walk away and be like, God, I can't do this no more. And even if you haven't come to Christ and you just like, I don't know how to get out of this, run to the Father's arms. His arms are wide open. And I promise you, you're not going to find no better friend. You're not going to find no better coach, teacher, mother, or father, brother or sister You're not going to find no other better anything outside of Jesus, because he's going to be every part of that for you. He's going to be every bit of that for you. And I know that now because it's just like he's covered me in the fire. Y'all, I was so stressed out at one point. I should have bags up under my eyes. I should have wrinkles all over my forehead. I should kind of be looking a little crazy. Oh Lord. But that's the thing about God. When you going through the fire, baby, you won't even smell like smoke. People gonna be like, you went through all that and you look like this? This is the grace of God. This is the power of his blood. This is what Jesus did. I want to encourage you with Proverbs, what's it called? 3, 5, I want to say 3, Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Okay, there it is. Trust in the Lord God with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Don't give up, y'all. It's not over until God says it's over. And I want to encourage you with Romans 5. Okay? You know, perseverance produces hope. Hope produces character. I think I got that all wrong. Character produces hope. And hope produces, I'm going to just put Romans 5 in the description because I can't remember that off the top of my head. And I want to open my Bible and read it to y'all. But, this video already kind of running long. So I'm going to try my best to put it in the description so you can find it. But don't give up. You are his child. It's not easy. We're all literally, I like how, I forgot this one dude said, we are literally, even though we're adults, we're all just kind of like big babies walking around just figuring out what life is. And we have a Heavenly Father that's up there that's just like, I got you. We're literally in the palm of his hands. And if you're not there, get into his hand. Because no matter what you're going through, he's going to be with you. Okay? God bless you on this rainy, beautiful day. I don't know if it's sunny on your side, but honey, I hope you have a wonderful, glorious day, honey. Stay blessed, stay smiling. Smile, honey. And God bless. Have a great day.